was injured during the Linwood game earlier this week, and he is out for the season with a knee injury, MCL injury. So the junior midfielder gone for the year, a huge blow for the Hawks. Certainly somebody they've relied on all over the field, so they're going to need someone to step in and step up their game, and perhaps it's Gavin Scott. So keep an eye on number 7 as I'll try to get things going for the Hawks. Start to get you some of those players. Obviously, Bobby Stoyanov is the one to watch. The Bulgarian bulldozer, as we like to call him. Only a junior and already getting looks from Division I schools. Right now for the Hawks, Nate Cockbane, number 9 on the defense.
We're just back on, so pick it up from now.
And I'm told we just are back on live right now, so we'll try to get you some of the other details that we've had. So if you go back and watch this later, you might find me repeating myself here as we'll give you some more information. But we are, in fact, on live as we speak. So we hope that folks who were trying to tune into the game were bearing with us. And you haven't missed much yet. 5.5 minutes into the match. No score. Edmonds Woodway with 1 corner kick thus far. Mountlake Terrace still looking for their first one. And as we were mentioning as we started the broadcast earlier, Edmonds Woodway coming into this game second place in Wesco 3A/2A. It's a 13-team conference. Edmonds Woodway all alone in second place with a record of 7 wins, 2 losses, 1 tie. They trail only Snohomish, who is 9-1. And then Mountlake Terrace in a tie with Linwood for third place, just 1 half game back of Edmonds Woodway. Both Terrace and Linwood 7-3 on the season. Terrace's overall record is 10-4. Free kick from the center of the field. That was number 12 with the boot, Sam Polivoy, the senior. As we mentioned to the audience before we realized we weren't on live, we are experiencing a double-header today. Quite the exciting time for us here at Sound Live Sports Network as we broadcasted a softball game just a couple hours ago, or a game that got over less than 2 hours ago, involving these same 2 schools. The Mountlake Terrace Hawks softball team defeating Edmonds Woodway 3-2. So the Hawks remain in first place in terms of softball. Our crew then had to break everything down and get it over here to Edmonds Stadium. And Angelo Camo, along with the crew, Gregory Oakes, Spencer Moodliar, and Lee Ledford, all doing a fantastic job helping us with that. And consequently, we all got here a little late and didn't have as much of an opportunity to prep with the coaches and players as we sometimes like to. So we'll try to get you some information in regards to who's out on the field and what's going on as it comes to us. But we do not have starting lineups per se. But we're going to try to mention as many of these players, and hopefully we won't mess up too many of the pronunciations of their names either. Breakaway for Edmonds Woodway, perhaps. Hanero Ruiz coming out from way beyond the box is able to clear that one away as number 10, Lorenzo Rahani, looked like he might have a chance there momentarily. Ruiz has been outstanding in goal all season long. Mountlake Terrace with one of the better defensive teams in the entire state. Playing very low-scoring games, and Ruiz doesn't give up very many goals. 8 clean sheets for Ruiz on the season. 8 times in which he has not given up a goal in 14 games. Gave up 2 goals to Linwood on Tuesday night. That's only the second time all season the Hawks have given up 2 goals, and even then it took extra play to do so, as Mountlake Terrace was defeated by Linwood 2-1 in overtime. Clock now showing 31:24 to go here in the first half. Edmonds Woodway about to have a free kick from about 43 yards outside the goal. Number 12, Lucas Teclamariam, the senior, will take the kick. Header goes off of one of the Hawks. It looked as though that might have been number 6, Colin Cockbane. So we can try to get you some of the names out there. Ryan Dunn, you can see him. He's wearing number 19. Number 14, Ryan Kaufman, also back playing defense. Number 18, Aaron Cox. Number 7, Gavin Scott. And we might repeat some of the information we talked about with him a few moments ago since we were not on the air live. Cody Nickel, number 5, also in there. It is senior night here for the Hawks. This is their night. It's a home game, believe it or not. That ball hits the top of the crossbar, bounces up into the air. Hanero Ruiz quickly getting over there to try to take care of it. The Hawks able to clear that one out. potential opportunity there for the Warriors rather. And Sam Polvoy clearing that one out, looking for Bobby Stoyanov. Stoyanov putting a little pressure on number 16, Logan Gendron. Stoyanov coming away with it. Doesn't have numbers, but he's going to shoot on goal. Almost made it off the crossbar. Hits down and away from the goal. Bobby Stoyanov missed the opening goal of the game by about 6 inches. Great shot from the right side. Hit the lower part of that crossbar, too. If it just gets down just a little bit more, it goes into the back of the net, and then Stoyanov's going to get tripped. I think we might even have a free kick right here. We do. Bobby Stoyanov, who almost came up with a goal about a minute ago, might get a chance for one right now. He already has 12 on the year, looking for number 13, and actually they're going to have Sam Polvoy, the defender, take the free kick. I think the goalkeeper is Colin Whitney. Again, we were not able to get starting lineups beforehand, but Whitney is the only goalkeeper listed on the board. And there's the goal, Sam Polvoy. Free kick with 11 minutes into the match. And the Mountain Lake Terrace Hawks strike first. 1-0. Polvoy gets the goal, but give a lot of credit to Stoyanov for setting it up by getting free and drawing the penalty. Sam Polvoy putting that one into the lower left corner of the goal. Skidded that one along the ground. Whitney not able to come up with it. Mountain Lake Terrace striking early here and striking quickly. Mountain Lake Terrace looking for more perhaps. Stoyanov getting a little run. Ball is finally pushed out, and it looks as though the Hawks are going to have their first corner kick of the night. Mackie Gunther, the sophomore, number 1, also listed as one of the goalkeepers on this Edmonds Woodway team. Stoyanov getting that one over to Gavin Scott. Scott centers it over the head of number 15. That's Juan Lopez, the sophomore. Mountain Lake Terrace looking for another opportunity right now. Aaron Cox with the ball. And we're going to get a foul called against number 7, Armand Tanau. No card on the play as the Hawks start to set up a play here. Dropping back on the defensive side of things for Mountain Lake Terrace, number 5, Cody Nickel, number 19, Ryan Dunn. The Bulgarian bulldozer, Bobby Stoyanov, will take the kick. Takes it all the way over to the right side. Colin Cockbane in the vicinity and not able to come up with that one before it goes out. And Edmonds Woodway will have their first goal kick of the night. Terrace doing a nice job just to clear that one out. A lot of good action here during the first 14 minutes of play. Jaka Jamai putting that one off to the side of the track there. Mountain Lake Terrace will have the throw in right near their corner. Both teams have hit the other one's crossbar thus far. Edmonds Woodway's play was from kind of near the top of it came over the top and hit the upper part of the crossbar, so it would have maybe been a little easier for Genaro Ruiz to make the save if necessary. I'm not sure if that one was as close to a goal as the play that Terrace had when Stoyanov took his shot from about 15 yards out on the right side, where he just caught the bottom part of the crossbar and had it ricochet away from the goal. Nice defense by the Warriors. As though that might have been number 11, Sebastian Olsen, coming up with it. 23, Andrew Shin also in on the defense. Bobby Stoyanov along the left side. Number 9, Nate Cockbane. Number 9 and number 6, Nate and Colin Cockbane, cousins, both seniors. Shot, almost a shot on goal by Gavin Scott. And if you are just tuning in, we did mention this. I think this was before we were live on the air. Talked to Coach George Dramusis right before the game. Asked him for a couple of keys to the game, and he mentioned that they really need some a secondary threat at scoring. Bobby Stoyanov having a huge year thus far. Shot towards the goal. Cleared out. It looked as though that was number 6 with a header, Cameron Cohn. Shamai pushing forward. Kicks it past Polivoy. Tries to run it down. It goes out of bounds. Mountain Lake Terrace will get the throw in. Gavin Scott, number 7. He has 2 goals on the year. Scott is a senior. He was in double digits for goals both his sophomore and junior seasons. Been playing fairly banged up and injured this year. Kind of hoping the Hawks are anyway that he, as he gets healthier, can maybe add a little more of a threat to the scoring. They're going to need it because Diego Aganaga, junior midfielder, is out for the year. He hurt his knee in the game against Linwood earlier this week, an MCL injury. He was the second leading goal scorer for Terrace this year. And Coach Dramusis was just a little fearful that teams are starting to team up on Stoyanov, knowing that he is the ultimate threat. Knowing that if other players aren't going to step up and start scoring goals, teams are going to start to ignore a few of the other players a little bit more, and somebody needs to step into that role. So perhaps Gavin Scott is the answer to the question, who can offer that secondary help for the Hawks. Edmonds Woodway looking to get a little bit of a run right now. Andrew Shin down the right side. Sam Polivoy comes over. Patiently waits for the ball to go out and knocks it on over to his goalkeeper, Genaro Ruiz, who will put up a goal kick for the Hawks with 23-23 showing on the clock here in the first half. Mountain Lake Terrace with the 1-0 lead thanks to the penalty kick by Sam Polivoy after teammate Bobby Stoyanov was tripped up in the box 11 minutes into the match. Appears as though we have a substitution for Edmonds Woodway. Didn't see who came in, but number 9, Simon Gebremiak, heads out of the game. Only a freshman. And now he's coming back in. Gebremiak almost had his opportunity with the ball there. Didn't quite come up with it. Stoyanov gets it, pushes it ahead. Cockbane to Gavin Scott. Gavin Scott with a look, trips over the ball. Coming in as Cockbane again, wasn't able to get to it in time. Nate Cockbane for a moment looked as though he might beat the defender to the ball. Didn't happen. Here come the Warriors on the other side. From left to center, shot on goal with a header. Saved by Ruiz. Ben Forder had a look. Looked as though that might have been number 12 on the far side of the field. Tekla Merriam, who centered the ball to him. Great idea by the Warriors. They had the right play. Just weren't able to capitalize on it as Ruiz, who we mentioned has been lights out in the net all year long, comes up with a huge save for the Hawks. Juan Lopez getting the ball initially over to Gavin Scott. Like Terrace almost giving that one up. Number 14, Forder, trying to chase it down for the Warriors. Edmonds Woodway now with an opportunity as Cameron Cohn pushes that one up from the defense. Edmonds Woodway making a run right now. Here comes Lorenzo Rohani. Rohani getting by the defender, kicks it into the middle of the field. Ruiz once again with the dive. Gebremiak was who that pass was intended for over on the left corner of the goal. And Ruiz very wisely taking the proper angle, able to fall forward, grab that ball before anyone on the Warrior offensive side of things had even a shot at the goal. just about halfway through the first half. Mount Lake Terrace holding that 1-0 lead on senior night for Mount Lake Terrace. Free kick towards the middle. Polivoy gets his head on that one. The free kick was Cameron Cohn. Decent crowd starting to fill in tonight, and beautiful night for a soccer game. See a few clouds out to the west right now, over towards the Puget Sound into the downtown Edmonds area, but for the most part, it's been blue skies all afternoon and evening. Really one of the better days we've had here in a long time weather-wise. We have an Edmonds Woodway player a little shaken up. Finally is able to get up and run it off. Number 12, Lucas Teclamariam, lobbying with the referee. He wanted something a little more called on that play. That was Cameron Cohn, who was slow to get back to his feet. And Mount Lake Terrace once again with another opportunity. Polivoy was the one that sent it up the field. Edmonds Woodway able to come away with it. It's number 15, Kyle Ari. First time we've called his name tonight. We know that he's always a threat for Edmonds Woodway. Both of these teams coming down to the end of their regular seasons. Mount Lake Terrace with one final game to go Monday night. And if you're a Hawks fan and you want to go out and support them, you're going to have a little bit of a commute. They are going to Oak Harbor to finish off the season. Edmonds Woodway one final home game right here against Shorewood at Edmonds Stadium, 7:30 Monday night. It's a Shorewood team that's 6-4-1, so if Edmonds Woodway were to lose this game tonight, Shorewood would have a chance to catch them in the standings, and we'll tell you a little bit about what that may or may not mean here in a little while as we start to look at district brackets. It's that time of year. And Mount Lake Terrace and Edmonds Woodway looking in different directions at this point, too, now that Mount Lake Terrace has moved down to the 2A ranks. Top 4 Wesco teams get automatic berths into districts, into the double elimination tournament. If you are 5, 6, 7, or 8, you have to play a play-in game that would be played on May 4th. Edmonds Woodway right now, we mentioned they're in second place, but the gap is not that wide. Mount Lake Terrace, you take them out of the equation. They're not eligible for any of those district spots, being that they're 2A, but Linwood could certainly catch them. Shorewood could certainly catch them. So if you're Edmonds Woodway, you're in pretty good shape for one of those top 4. It's just a matter of where you're going to end up. And obviously the better your seed, in theory, the less difficult of an opponent you're going to get in the opening round. Opening round would be on May 6th. That's next Saturday, 7 p.m. I mean, if Edmonds Woodway finishes first, second, or third in Wesco, they would have a home game that night here at Edmonds Stadium. If they finish fourth, there's a chance they're probably going to go on the road, and I believe that might be, let me double check that before I say this, but that fourth place team might be getting a red-hot Squalicum team. And I looked away, and there's a goal. Bobby Stoyanov, second goal of the game, coming 25 minutes in. Two 2-0 Mount Lake Terrace, and George Dramusas pointed out that he'd like to get goals early so he can kind of play their game and try to force the other team to come back, and score early is what they've done so far, is trying to get a rewind as to what happened there right now. When you have a one-man booth and the one man is looking down at the district brackets, this is what happens. Is Angelo Como giving me a little bit of a replay right here. We'll hopefully get that up in a minute so that I can talk a little more intelligently about what just happened there. And there it is, Stoyanov. I just got to see the replay. The ball right into the back right corner of the net. He is special. Goal number 13 on the season for Bobby. Mount Lake Terrace now 2-0. We mentioned that Ruiz has given up 2 goals twice this year. He's never given up 3 goals in a game thus far. However, this is an Edmonds Woodway team that is very strong, capable of coming back if need be. There are quite a few teams in Wesco, I think, that if you spot Mount Lake Terrace a 2-goal lead 25 minutes in, they're going to put teams away very quickly. Edmonds Woodway might be a team that has enough firepower, enough experience to where they're not going to get too rattled, and they could certainly make a run. So don't tune out at it by any means at this point. We've got ourselves a game, folks. Hawks trying to get on the offensive side of things once again. Nate Cockbain puts it into the middle for Bobby Stoyanov. Stoyanov trying to get by one defender. We get a whistle. Going to bring that one back. Whistle was against Mount Lake Terrace, so Cameron Cohn looking to put this one up the field. And sure enough, as I pull up the standings here, Squalicum up in the Northwest League was a 3A school. They were 2A for a while and then went to 3A with the new reclassification this year. They are 15-0. Not sure what that means, obviously, playing in that Northwest Conference. You never really know until you get into crossover games just exactly how good certain teams are. But the point being that whoever finishes in 4th place in Wesco will play Squalicum in the first round on May 6th. It's a game you'd like to stay away from if you're one of those teams. You don't want to have to play an undefeated opponent, certainly. And we point that out because if Edmonds Woodway were to lose tonight and potentially lose to Shorewood on Monday, there's still a possibility they could drop all the way into that number 4 spot. But again, as we mentioned, if they get a 1, 2, or a 3, they're going to play at home next Saturday night against a opponent to be determined. Try to get you a little 2A bracket information here in a little while, too, as that will pertain to Mount Lake Terrace. Mount Lake Terrace's standings don't matter as much as the other Wesco teams. However, every game does count for them as they are playing in an RPI index rating system. Top 12 teams in District 1 and District 2 at the 2A classification make the playoffs. Teams 1 through 4 get an automatic bye into the District double elimination tournament. Teams 5 through 12 have to play one another. Bobby Stoyanov with a nice move, shoots it from 30 yards out, almost made the goal. Boy, he is putting on a clinic right now. Stoyanov might have cleared that crossbar by just a yard or two. The Edmonds goalkeeper learning very quickly, if he didn't already know who number 8 is, he knows him now, as Stoyanov already with 1 goal. Set up another one by getting tripped in the box. And then he's had 2 shots that came very close to going in already. And we've still got 11:45 to go here in the first half. Just noticing as we're playing with our phone here as we go along, I've pulled up the RPI rankings as they currently stand for 2A, and we'll read those off to you here in just a moment. So just pointed out the top 4 teams will get automatic berths into the double elimination 2A tournament. Mount Lake Terrace is currently, according to the RPI rankings, number 2. They're right behind Archbishop Murphy, who's undefeated. Murphy's the 2-time defending state champ. And they've been dominating their opponents this far. Mount Lake Terrace crosses it from right to left. Cockbain kicking it off the defender. And he's going to get a corner kick as number 11, Sebastian Olsen, trying to mind his own business. And now they're actually going to say no. Olsen was already out of bounds when Cockbain hit it off of him. So a goal kick coming up for Edmonds Woodway. So Mount Lake Terrace is, in fact, the number 2 seed right now for the RPI rankings. Archbishop Murphy's number 1. Linden and Bellingham, who are each 10-1 in league play up in the Northwest Conference. They're the 3 and 4 teams. Seaholm is 8-1 up there. And then Cedar Crest, who plays over in the Cascade Conference along with Archbishop Murphy, they're 8-2. So certainly a lot of good soccer teams around District 1 who are not 3A. So if anybody thinks, well, now that Mountain Lake Terrace is 2A, it's going to be just an easy ride into the state tournament, doesn't work that way. There are plenty of teams up in the north end especially who excel in not just soccer but other sports. And we've seen that time and time again as the Hawks have made this adjustment this year that once you go into district play, it doesn't mean that you get an automatic berth. You still have to fight your way through plenty of great teams. 8 schools up in the Northwest Conference play at the 2A level. We talk about Archbishop Murphy, the private school up off of 128th. We certainly know about their football team as they made national news this year when teams were refusing to play them. Cedar Crest, who's over in Duval, playing in that Cascade Conference. They're also a 2A school. And Edmonds Woodway trailing by 2 already here, looking to get some of it back with a corner kick. Ball placed right in towards the middle. Cone had a shot at it for a moment. Tripped over the ball momentarily, just long enough for Terrace to enable themselves to clear it out. It was Lucas Teclamariam with the corner kick. And Cameron Cone, the senior, standing on the 16-yard line of the football field, which means he's 24 yards away from the goal. Kicks one along the ground, trying to skip it over to Teclamariam. Couldn't come up with it. The ball skids past everybody on the field and out of bounds. We'll give a goal kick to the Hawks. Again, if you are just tuning in, it is a gorgeous night here at Edmonds Stadium. Mount Lake Terrace versus Edmonds Woodway. The Hawks with 2 goals here in the first half. Sam Polvoy in the 11th minute on a penalty kick. And then 14 minutes later, Bobby Stoynoff during the 25th minute of play from about 12 or 14 yards out. Clock now showing 7:52 and counting. Been a relatively clean game thus far in terms of stoppage and in terms of injuries. So we've got to think that that is pretty much real time at this point. Edmonds Woodway looking to put a run on right now. That was Ben Forder, number 14. Passes it over to Rohani. Rohani towards the middle. And Ruiz once again doing a nice job to step up and make a play. Genaro has certainly had easier games thus far this year. Does have a clean sheet in the first half here as we're now 33 minutes into the match, but he's certainly been tested a few times. Done a nice job to step up and prevent Edmonds Woodway from getting clean looks. Polvoy with the header. Over to Lopez. Lopez pushes that one over to the side to number 14, Ryan Kaufman. Edmonds Woodway, number 11, Sebastian Olson, looking for teammate Lorenzo Rohani. Now number 9, Simon Gabrimiak. Only a freshman, so we have 3 years to learn how to pronounce his name. And here come the Warriors right now. Number 14, Forder, looking for a push. He's able to retrieve that before it goes out. Over to Rohani, trying to get it back to Forder. Forder fighting through it, puts his hands up in the air to say, I didn't push off on anybody. Referees agree, and Forder comes away with it. Drops it back to teammate number 11, Olson. Olson putting it towards the middle of the field. Number 7, Tanau with the ball. Trying to get by a defender, puts a shot on goal, and nice job by Polvoy to knock it out, and also a nice job by Aaron Cox to put a little pressure on Tanau, as well as number 19, Ryan Dunn, also in on the defense. Looking over to the side here. Senior night at the stadium for Mount Lake Terrace. Rohani puts that one towards the middle of the field. Tanau looking for an opportunity. Finally, the Hawks clear it out. Looked as though that might have been Polvoy with the kick. Stoyanov and Brian Macedo both going for that ball. The whistle blows, and nice job by Bobby to show some sportsmanship. Pats Macedo on the head. No cards yet tonight. Of course, as soon as you say that in the world of broadcasting, something happens. So we'll knock on wood. We'd like to see a little sportsmanship here between two teams, two schools that are rivals, but at the same time they know each other fairly well. Shot on goal, almost. Believe that might have been, as we try to get the number there. Thought it was Gavin Scott momentarily, but I don't think it was him. Nonetheless, the Hawks not able to connect with that one. Edmonds Woodway pushing down the other side. Number 15, Kyle Ari, pushes it forward. And that was number 14, Ben Forder, who he was looking for in that play. Pushed it a little too far ahead, and Genaro Ruiz able to come away with it. 4:20 showing on the clock. Gavin Scott, nope, they're going to say there was a trip on the play. As Gabri Miak hops up off the turf and runs down the field. Edmonds Woodaway wearing the road green uniforms. Hawks in the home whites. Nice kick by Tekla Merriam down the field. Actually, no, that was number 2, Jamai. And Ruiz, once again, getting his hands on that one. Looked as though Ari from the left side trying to put that one towards the goal, hoping for something to happen, and nobody really around to make a play for the Warriors on the kick. So the Warriors once again look to set something up here. 3:23 and counting on the clock right now, left in the first half. Nice job by Aaron Cox to step in. Kicks it back down the field towards the EW defense. Hawks looking to get a run right now. Gavin Scott, nice slide tackle there. As though that might have been Gabri Miak once again. It's Tekla Merriam looking to get past 2 defenders. Ball put towards the middle of the field one more time, and nothing doing. The Hawks able to clear it out. Lopez kicking that one down the field. And once again, Lopez involved in the play, pushes it forward. Looking for Stoyanov. And number 16, Logan Gendron, stepping in to intercept the pass. Now Lake Terrace looking for one more run before the end of the half. 2:15 showing on the clock. In 15 more seconds, the referees will turn off the scoreboard and keep the remaining time on the field. Your referees tonight, and I'm going to have a lot of fun with these names. I'll do the easy one first. Tom Gerard. And then we've got Murad Khalif and Amar Mohitanolo. Shot towards the goal. Ruiz once again there to save it. Kyle Ari firing out from about 15 yards away. Ruiz keeping his body in front of it. Able to make the low catch. Gabri Miak almost made the goal there as Ruiz, with a little bit of a weak clear out, kicked it right in the direction of the freshman, and Gabri Miak almost made him pay for it. Under the final 2 minutes of play here in the first half. Mountain Lake Terrace Hawks continuing to lead Edmonds Woodway 2-0. I started to mention this earlier. A really nice crowd here tonight for the Hawks. On senior night, is Edmonds Woodway as well, as they're down on the visitor side, an area they're not always accustomed to. Strange thing about having a district stadium. Sometimes you're at your own school and you're the visiting team, and that is the case tonight. Seen quite a few faces that we saw over at Mount Lake Terrace High School earlier. The again, the softball game between these two schools. Mount Lake Terrace pulling a 3-2 victory out today. Mount Lake Terrace boys, their baseball team also playing over there. They lost to Arlington 6-0. Also senior day for the baseball team as well. And we should have about 30 to 45 seconds left unless they added on some extra time to the play here. We're not sure. The clock has been turned off for about 90 seconds now. Mount Lake Terrace still playing down on their end. They would love to get a third goal here before the half, but then again, Edmonds Woodaway might have other thoughts as they get a little push. Tekla Merriam pushing it out to the side. That's Lorenzo Rohani back to Tekla Merriam. Gets by a couple defenders rather nicely, pushes ahead to Forder. Forder along the right side, kicks it into the middle of the field. Ruiz once again there to clean it up. Armand Tanau in the middle of the field there. He had an opportunity for a moment. And Hernero Ruiz playing a heck of a game here in the first half. And the whistle blows, and we've completed the first half of play. Mount Lake Terrace, thanks to goals by Sam Polvoy and Bobby Stoyanov, with the 2-0 lead. We're going to take a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll get you to the second half of action here shortly. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Yeah. Where do you live, Spencer?
My mom had 5 miles of gas last night. I can't see how far away the school is from our house.
Let's point that camera at center field. It's right down the center. Hey, how you holding up?
Good. How are you?
Battery's running out.
For you or for that?
For me.
Okay.
It's been a long day. I'm thinking, Steve,
What's
this
up?
might be our last game of the year.
Do we have the mail on Friday? Oh, something on your schedule.
Oh, there's track.
Hmm.
I think track is the last thing.
How do you get softball the following week? Do you have your schedule on there?
Not on this one.
I thought you had another event on there.
Did you take a picture of it or?
I'm not going to pull it up. Yeah, you have softball on Monday the 8th and Tuesday the 9th.
Their season's not over yet.
Yeah, they go a little later than the other sports.
Okay, that's what I thought everyone was wrapping up this week. Baseball's wrapping up, right?
Baseball regular season was over tonight. There was a last game.
That's what had me thinking that we're done.
We have track Friday, and the following Monday, Tuesday, you have softball now.
Then we're done.
Unless you want to do some postseason stuff.
We don't know where the postseason at with this 2A thing.
True. Well, no, it's probably not going to happen. I was going to say there was a chance that Terrace softball might have one last home game if they don't finish in the top 4 in the RPI, but they're more than likely going to finish in the top 4.
Do I have a game scheduled for Tuesday, May 2nd?
Not on here, you don't.
Oh, good,
No, because you have your fundraiser.
Right.
Remember we talked about the baseball game?
Yeah.
I'm going to go pee.
Yeah.
Ben, the baseball senior night. It's fundraiser night.
you gotta do to play the game. So only thing you can pack up is that camera outside and this yellow cable. Everything else has to wait till he's done with the play the game.
I say once, like, once they say everything's done, yank out that cord.
You don't yank out.
Well, not yank out. Unplug it, throw it out the window, drop it next thing.
That's a blade in the head.
What?
It's a blade in the head.
No, in for my head. It's really knocking me out. So it's just, I'm gonna roll. Oh, hi.
Alright, so Spencer, you were quite shaky when you were covering the game. It
I
was
fixed it. I fixed it. 3
and
fingers.
also with it down here, you didn't actually have the goal in your shot. You took a shot on goal, so you didn't see the save.
Well,
Gotta make sure you see the net in the corner of your
you
shot.
want to be nice.
Not too tight, because you want to see that goal. You want to see that
There's
goal
the
hit
back.
the back of the net.
Greg here, and you right here, and we both same things. They're both right. Or they're both a way to do it.
Well, you can be
Both right.
tight in the middle, but when it gets down this thing, you gotta see the goal. That's the whole point, right? That's the goal. Have some more pizza.
What?
Have some pizza.
I gotta chill for a second. For several hours today. I mean, I'm already beyond those 7 hours. But
You want?
I'm sorry.
I don't need to know these things.
What?
I don't need to know these things. You're disrupting my nap.
What?
You're disrupting my nap. You see me sleep like this? I don't sleep like this. I can sleep like this.
Okay. I did that too in class.
That's where I learned it.
pizza. I'm broadcasting.
I'm full of pizza. I'm pizza out.
Here's pizza now.
Disrupted his nap.
Hey, get on camera. Hey, keep it smooth. Keep it smooth.
Check this out. Oops. That's not what I wanted.
Tweet out play of the game.
I'm going to do something better. Make sure the hair's okay. That's good enough. So let's put the headphones on too. Here we go. It's halftime at Edmonds Stadium. Mount Lake Terrace leading Edmonds Woodway on the soccer field 2-0. Just about ready to get the second half underway. I'm hanging out with Angelo Cabot up here in the booth. Tune in and watch the game live. SoundLiveSportsNetwork.com. Like that little face at the end?
What was that?
That was dumb, wasn't it?
No. What was
I'm going to put it on Twitter in a minute.
Okay.
Coming at you live from Edmonds Stadium. You can see the pitch going on behind us. Second half just got underway. Mount Lake Terrace versus Edmonds Woodway soccer. Hawks leading the Warriors 2-0. Angelo Camo and I up in the booth. Tune in to SoundLiveSportsNetwork.com right now to watch the second half. And welcome back to the Sound Live Sports Network. Steve Willits along with Angelo Camo running the board. We've got our 3 Mount Lake Terrace Hawks students helping us out with the broadcast tonight. Senior Gregory Oakes, freshman Spencer Moodliar, and junior Lee Ledford. And the 5 of us bringing you this broadcast tonight on a gorgeous night at Edmonds Stadium. Gorgeous night if you're a Mount Lake Terrace Hawks fan, too. 2 first-half goals, one by Sam Polvoy, one by Bobby Stoyanov. Gives the Hawks the 2-0 lead over the Edmonds Woodway Warriors. The second place Edmonds Woodway Warriors. Warriors looking to push ahead. Hawks having other ideas as Ben Forder. And the Warriors now going from right to left for us. And that would be north to south for those of you who enjoy geography. And ball is cleared out. We're having a little fun here today. Double header. We did softball earlier. Hustled on over here, got things set up. And we were able to get up in time. Woodway versus Mount Lake Terrace.
And Woodway versus Mount Lake Terrace.
Softball and soccer. 2 schools, 2 sports, 2 games, 2 genders. All in one night. And a little bit of pushing and shoving going on there is number 12, Lucas Teclamariam, getting tangled up with Bobby Stoyanov. Up here in the booth with Angelo Camo. And Edmonds Woodway trying to get back in this game, pushing it forward. Enero Ruiz stepping up and snagging that ball. Looking to push it up right now. Ramon Tanao pushing that one over to Simon Gabri-Miak. A Mount Lake Terrace team that we pointed out in the first half has only given up 2 goals twice this season. They've never given up more than that. And they currently hold a 2-0 lead. And nice job is Nate Cockbay, number 9, trying to push that one up. Edmonds Woodway, who's controlling the pace here thus far in the first 2.5 minutes of the second half. Pushing forward, number 15, Kyle Ari. Ari looking for somebody in the middle of the field. Found nothing but white jersey as number 18, Aaron Cox, steps up. And the Hawks will now look to send the ball down onto their side of the field. Ball is sent out of bounds. 36:45 showing on the clock. On what has been a really gorgeous night here at Edmonds Stadium. Haven't been able to say that very often over the last 6 or 7 months. Today being one of the exceptions. Starting to get a little bit chilly out and starting to see more jackets on below us here as well in the stands. That was Cody Nickel sending that ball forward for the Hawks. Edmonds Woodway able to come away with it. Lucas Teclamariam. And Mount Lake Terrace doing a nice job to send that one out. Nero Ruiz, the goalkeeper, has been outstanding thus far tonight. Gets that one down the field. Rather uneventful first 4.5 minutes of the second half. Edmonds Woodway doing their best to try to control the action, but Mount Lake Terrace not giving them many opportunities thus far. Did get confirmation at the half that it was Mackie Gunther who's been in goal for the Warriors tonight. Gavin Scott trying to make a run, gets the ball taken away by Teclamariam. Shows off his dribbling skills, kicks it forward. That's Rohani, clears it over towards the middle of the field and doing a nice job out of the Hawks. We're finally able to come away and get it cleared out as Cody Nickel steps in front of the would-be pass to Ben Forder. Edmonds Woodway trying to take advantage of their momentum. They quickly throw it in. And Cameron Cohn trying to find a teammate as he goes left to right. Nobody there. The ball goes out of bounds, and the Hawks will throw it in. .34:06 showing on the clock right now. It looks as though Nate Cockmain, number 9, will be the one to throw it in. Gets it over to Juan Lopez. Terrace trying to center it, looking for something right now. Gavin Scott trying to fight his way through a defender, couldn't do it. Warriors are able to clear it out. Sam Polivoy for the Hawks battling it out with Lorenzo Rohani. Ball finally goes out of bounds, and Edmonds Woodway looks to throw it in. Talking with Angelo Comoder in the halftime break. Our next broadcast next Friday, right from here, Edmonds Stadium. Our first track meet of the year. That is the Edmonds School District track meet. We were fortunate enough to broadcast that last year. Plenty of great athletes from both of these schools. I think the Edmonds Woodway girls will be over at the Lake Washington Invitational, I believe, tomorrow morning at Lake Washington High School. They're having another great year. Quite a few of them with superb performances at the Easton Invitational last week. That's over at Snohomish High School, the largest invitational in Snohomish County every year. And I think they had 2 runners on the girls' side of things finish 1 and 2 in the 3,200 meter. I believe that was Stephanie Robluski and Olivia Meter-Yetter. I think I saw that Vernice Keys won one of the throwing events. Hannah Hicks was second in the long jump. Of course, Matthew Park taking the 1,600 meter. Sam McLuhan amongst others. A very good squad for Edmonds Woodway once again this year. Terrace looking to push. That's Gavin Scott with the ball. Keeps it in front of him. Puts it to Stoyanov. Back to Scott. Scott looking for a little give and go. Couldn't come up with it. And finally clearing it out for Edmonds Woodway is Jaka Jima. Terrace looking for their 3rd goal of the night potentially. It's number 17, Milky Yoniton. We haven't had a chance to call his name much yet tonight, if at all. Yoniton for the Hawks, battling it out with Logan Gendron. The referee's having a quick little conversation over there in the corner. It appears as though the Hawks are going to get a kick out of this one as Stoyanov looking to curve that one with the left foot towards the goal, kicks it low. Nice job to clear out by Gendron. Polivoy wins the battle against number 15, Ari. Stoyanov on the right side. Nice job trying to get around the defender. Does not get by him, and staying home and playing defense rather nicely there was Gendron. Stoyanov always a tough one to cover when he's got one-on-one, and Gendron able to come away with the ball. Gebri Miak dropping that one back to Teklemariam. Teklemariam looking for a push. Sends it ahead to Ari. Ari down the left side. Keeps the ball as it goes off of Nickel. Puts it into the middle of the field. And we get a whistle. I think that ball might have bounced up and hit Teklemariam in the hand, and in fact it did. Bad break for Edmonds Woodway as they were looking to cut that 2-goal deficit in half. Didn't even get the shot off, and Genaro Ruiz with 30 minutes even showing on the clock right now, with yet another opportunity to clear this one out. Ruiz, one of the seniors, being honored here on senior night. Just looking over the Terrace roster. You got Ruiz, Natu Abraham, Andrew Fitch, Cody Nickel, Colin Cockbane, Gavin Scott, Nate Cockbane, Malik Kiba, Sam Polivoy, and Ryan Dunn, all seniors, all playing their final regular season game here at Edmund Stadium. All ready for a long Monday night as they again head to Oak Harbor to wrap up the regular season. 7:30 start at Oak Harbor. If you are a parent of one of these players, you may not want to hold dinner for them that night. They're going to be home a little late. That is quite the trip. We are in fact getting a substitution right now. So number 3, Chin Ung, checking into the game. We got a spotter now up here. Angelo Camo pointing out who's coming in.
Watching the game.
That Oak Harbor game. I wanted to double check that to make sure I had it right, and in fact it is 7:30. Figure those guys aren't going to be getting home till close to midnight. Angelo Camo, I should ask him off air. Obviously, you won't be able to hear his answer, but any of these players on your team? Well, turn on the mic for a minute. We're gonna find out if he in fact has any of the soccer players on his team.
Well, you mean in my class?
In your class, yeah, on your team. I get, well, it's a team, it's a class.
Yeah, so Natu, he's been a member of my class before, and he's just an all-around great kid. He played Steve Harvey in the assembly today.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
There's a spring sports assembly.
Were we
today.
mocking the Miss
game
Universe
show.
pageant, or was it actual?
Well, he did do the card joke.
Okay, of course, if you're going to mock Steve Harvey these days, you go right for that one, right? And we can say that Steve Harvey a tremendous talent. So how did Natu do? Was he?
He's fantastic.
Okay.
He's a great MC. And Genaro, I've had a few classes with Genaro.
But the reason I ask is because these guys are going to be staying up a little late on Monday night. Are you going to cut them any slack on Tuesday, or do you not have any right now?
Oh, they're not currently in the class.
Oh, okay,
right now,
well,
yeah,
there you
so.
go. But we're gonna have you champion them.
Like Gavin Scott, he's in the class.
Okay, well there you go. So we're gonna have you champion them. So if you want to go to the teachers on Monday and just say, hey, let these guys off the hook a little bit on Tuesday, they're gonna be a little bit tired and drained. And I have a feeling that bus ride from Oak Harbor, it's a long one, but they probably won't be doing much sleeping on the way back. That's just my experience from playing high school sports over the years. Just because you have the time to do so, you're not necessarily going to take advantage of it.
Yeah. So speaking of tired and drained, I sort of ran into Coach Jamusis in the hallways today. And I gave him my one little bit of soccer advice.
Oh, this should be good.
Yeah, like,
Whatever
Coach,
you said, it must be working. They're up 2-0.
Yeah. Well, it's mostly about the end of the game. It's like, Coach, I don't know much about soccer coaching, but one thing I did notice was, like, at the end of the game, the legs are pretty heavy, and when fresh legs come in, they just make everyone look like they're standing still. So he
So if we see a number of substitutions happening late in the game, we'll know that if Coach Dramusis hadn't figured that out at this stage in his life, he now knows to do so because of Angelo Camo. It's perfect. Mount Lake Terrace again with an opportunity to clear this one out as we are now looking at 26-23 showing on the clock. Angelo, I got to ask you, since you're on the air with us for a few minutes, what's it been like for you today? Softball at 4 o'clock.
Well,
Relatively quick game, too.
Wait, it was a much longer day than that.
Okay. Well, I didn't assume that you woke up at 3:45. You
No,
have that teaching thing that you have
that
going
whole
on at
teaching thing, and
MTHS.
then of course the Springs Sports Assembly and after second period, and the Governor Jay Inslee.
That's right. I forgot
was
all
at
about
Terrace
that.
today. So we had news teams following the Governor around. So getting that all squared away was quite hectic. And right after the Governor's visit was the softball game. And right after the softball game, here we are.
Well, let's just not skip over like ho-hum and just another day at the office there. Governor Inslee was in the building.
Yes.
Did he walk into your
No,
classroom?
he was only there for like a half hour or so. He had a very, very tight political schedule. So he stayed in one wing of the building. So that wing included the music wing, the robotics wing, and the Hawkeye. He stopped by the print, our sister publication there.
And we get a little chance here from Tech Lamarium to potentially get something going for the Warriors. Doing a nice job coming over to defend him. That's number 6, Colin Cockbane. Contact was made, but they're going to say it was incidental. Edmonds Woodaway will, in fact, have an opportunity here. But so Governor Inslee, who's done commercials, he's been on TV, does interviews all the time, didn't want to come check out the broadcast.
No, he came out. He checked out the newscast. So we just came back from JA, the National Journalism Conference, and Hawkeye came back with lots of great plaques for their newspaper, and the school itself won the Press Freedom Award from that. And the robotics, they are going to nationals, and of course the Jazz Jazz 1 is going to essentially Ellington, only one of 15 schools in the nation that get invited to that tournament. So there's a lot to celebrate, and they say, wow, what's happening at this school?
Well, good for him, and hopefully he'll pass the word along. And we should mention, too, and I meant to bring this up. I haven't done so yet tonight, and since we got you on the air for a few minutes, we might as well talk about it right now. Big news happening at Mount Lake Terrace just a few hours ago today.
Oh, yes.
Huge announcement.
In between the Governor and softball, our Principal Schwab had called a little stand-up meeting in the library to let us know that he has accepted the assistant superintendent position for the Edmonds School District. And so he will be leaving Terrace as a principal, probably at the end of the school year, and taking up the mantle as assistant school superintendent for Edmonds School District.
And that makes me smile and frown all at the same time. As Greg Schwab has been the principal at Mount Lake Terrace High School since, I believe, 2005.
2004.
Was it 2004? Okay.
We started the same year.
You did? Okay, there you go. And you outlasted him, so good job. So, yeah, he's been there since
You ain't over yet.
Touche. There you go. Very nicely done. Anyway, Schwab, you're making me laugh now. Schwab has been there since 2004. And again, I know it's a tremendous honor for him and a great opportunity, but certainly somebody we're going to miss at Mount Lake Terrace. I think he's championed us here. He's done so many different things with various programs and classes, and we can only wish him nothing but the best. He's leaving Mount Lake Terrace High School, but he's staying very nearby.
An advocate in the big house, in the big office.
Oh, that helps too. Yeah. So the next question becomes, who's the next principal at Mount Lake Terrace High School?
Well, Schwab would help choose
dun,
that.
Dun, dun. So yeah, he's whoever it is going to be reporting to him.
Yeah.
So again, I don't know if Greg Schwab is watching tonight. I'm guessing he might be busy doing other things. It's kind of a big deal for him today and a big day. But if he is listening, person congratulations. I have tremendous respect for him and could not be happier for him to have that opportunity. So that's the big news out of Mount Lake Terrace. Greg Schwab moving on to the assistant superintendent position, and Jay Inslee, the governor, stopping by for a little visit. And then it only gets better as we get a doubleheader here today for the broadcast crew. So Angelo Camo with a 22-25, the man who produces and makes all of these broadcasts happen, jumping on the air with us. We should point out, too, so you've got 3 students here tonight helping us.
Right.
Let's mention them real quick again. I know we've done it already, but
so we have Lee. Lee's here. Actually,
Lee Ledford.
Lee Ledford. She went home because
she did okay.
Because she was with it for the whole softball game.
I was gonna say she helped set up for both of these games today.
Set up and broke down. So broke down the softball game and set up this game. So she decided to go home. Then Gregory Oakes, our club HBN actual president, is here tonight.
Greg's a senior.
And then we have have our freshman, the new blood, Spencer Mulder, who's here. And we're only running one camera because we had to zip from softball to here, so we couldn't bring a whole lot of stuff with us to keep mobile.
And all of these students are in the HBN
Club.
Okay.
So Spencer's
Which is
in the
Hawks
club.
Broadcasting Network.
And Greg's in the class, and Lee's in the club.
And how many students do we have in that club right now?
Right now, it as clubs, the attendance varies from week to week, but there's about a core 20.
Going to get a whistle here. We might even get our first card of the game as the referee is reaching into his pocket.
And taking a note or pulling a card? Just taking notes.
Oh, he held his hand up in the air. There might have, let's see what they call here. That was Nate Cockbane, who they're pointing in the direction of. Didn't get a good look at what he was holding up in the air, but Nate heads towards the sideline as number 14, Ryan Kaufman, checks back in. 20:44 showing on the clock right now. Mount Lake Terrace with the only 2 goals of the game, both coming in the first half. Edmonds Woodway trying to get something going there as they put it into the center of the field down near the Terrace goal. Ben Forder along the left side. Nice job of defense by both number 14, Ryan Kaufman, as well as, it looks as though that is that number 6? We're trying to get those numbers and waiting for them to turn towards us. I think that might have been Colin Cockbane on the play. But again, Angelo, I'll let you go back to doing your thing. But hey, big day at Mount Lake Terrace. And I didn't get a chance to get the answer. I'm sorry. What was how many kids in the class right now in the club?
Oh, about 20 kids in the club.
And that's no longer a district program. That's a Mount Lake Terrace High School program.
That's an ASB club.
Okay, so there we go. So they're the ones that help put on all these broadcasts, doing the news broadcast in the morning at the school, certainly helping with bringing Edmonds School District athletic action
and jazz
onto the internet. Jazz, you guys have done a little bit of everything this year, and we certainly appreciate you for all of your efforts. A lot of it comes after hours, so I know it's a sacrifice, but you're doing a fantastic job, and
I will sleep well tonight.
I'm sure you will. After 2 games, I'm gonna think nothing differently, as I'm sure you will go home and that head will hit the pillow quickly, and you will have earned a good night's sleep after 2 sporting events today. So, Angelo Camo, thanks for joining me on the air for a few minutes.
Sure.
We're going to get back to bringing you
this, Mike.
And we're going to go ahead and.
All right. There we go.
There we go. Now we've muted.
Okay.
We think we're muted. Oh, there we go. Everything seems to be on still, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Angelo says, I'm just going to put down the microphone and stay safe there. There we go. The mute buttons appear to not be working tonight, so we will. So perhaps you guys call our pizza eating conversations at halftime. If more power to you if you did. 18:38 to go in the second half, which just means more work for Angelo Camo as he now fidgets with the soundboard trying to figure out what's going on here. Hey, never a dull moment up here in the booth, right? And Mount Lake Terrace coming up with a goal kick. Another substitution taking place. Ryan Kaufman heading back out. It looks as though Nate Cockbane has checked back in. That is exactly what's happened. So the 2 subbing for one another once again. Gave Cockbane at least a couple of minutes rest up on the sideline. We'll see how well that does for his legs. Edmonds Woodway still looking to get on the board. Nice job on the defensive side of things. That was number 5, Cody Nickel, the senior, stepping in to clear that one out. Edmonds Woodway coming right back. This time, the clear out comes off the head of Aaron Cox. Terrace looking to push it forward. Stoyanov not able to come up with that one. Nice job by Jaka Gemma on the defensive side of things. Gemma picks up a yellow card. A little too aggressive with his interactions with Stoyanov. Apparently that came after the play as Edmonds Woodway will have an opportunity to clear this kick out. Cameron Cohn with a kick. Bobby Stoyanov heading towards the sideline. Terrace perhaps adding a little more defense, just playing to not give up goals at this point. Offense not as crucial for the Hawks with that 2-goal lead. Gavin Scott clearing that ball forward. Getting it up to a fresh pair of legs. That's number 21, Jared Jerome. Jerome Jr. Seeing some action out on the field. Into Abraham, number 2, right there in the picture as well. Get a fair amount of contact on the far side of the field. Going to call that one against the Warriors. Clock now showing 15:49. Polvoy with a huge kick all the way down towards the goal. Ball bouncing around up in the air. The header towards the goal. Nate Cockbane with a good look and doing a nice job to stop it is the goalkeeper, Mackie Gunther. It's been a while since we've seen a goal. Mountlake Terrace with the first goal of the game at the 11-minute mark. That was Sam Polvoy on the free kick. Bobby Stoyanov at the 25-minute mark. And as soon as we say that, we get an opportunity. Genaro Ruiz up in the air. Edmonds Woodway had a shot at it and missed it. Wide open net. And the crowd is going nuts. Kyle Ari, as Ruiz went airborne on that one, got flipped off of his feet. Ball bounced right in front of Ari. Open net, and he fired it too high. Hit the crossbar. Edmonds Woodway would love to have that one over again, and we've got an injured Hawk down on the field right now. A lot of action going on there as a few different players were flying around inside the box there. We've been kind of joking about it behind the scenes here that we forgot our binoculars tonight, so a little bit difficult to see some of these players when they're across the field from us, as we are in a booth on the north side of the field and the injury taking place on the south. It looks as though that might have been number 15, Juan Lopez. Fortunately, Lopez up on his feet, hobbling a little bit, but he is, in fact, trying to walk it off. Edmonds Woodway with, without a doubt, their best opportunity of the night, and they come away with nothing. Bobby Stoyanov is checked back into the game. He's up front right now. Edmonds Woodway wearing those road green uniforms. That's number 3, Chin Young. Number 23, Andrew Shin. Over on the right side for Edmonds Woodway as they look to control the ball right now. Again, desperately needing something. They trail by 2 goals. Clock now showing 13:21 remaining, unless we have added time. Bobby Stoyanov coming up with the ball. Nice job. Was able to elude 1 or 2 defenders and finally has it taken away from him. Definitely didn't have the numbers on his side. And that ball will be cleared out by Shaka Jama. Night setting upon us here at the stadium. Time running out on the Warriors. Started to mention this earlier. Mountlake Terrace right now the number 2 seed if the playoffs were to start right now, and certainly not going to hurt their cause if they were able to get a victory over an Edmonds Woodway team that is in second place in a 3A conference. If Mountlake Terrace is in fact able to stay in the top 4 in the RPI rankings for 2A, they would get a bye past the first round of the district tournament, which is taking place at Cedro-Woolley. That first round of games would be May 4th. The Hawks wouldn't play until May 6th. And actually that would be a home game, so it would more than likely be at Edmonds Stadium. We could potentially have 2 games at Edmonds Stadium on May 6th, which is a Saturday. So Mountlake Terrace could in fact be playing their first 2A district game since the realignment next Saturday. As we pointed out earlier, if Edmonds Woodway finishes in the top 3 in Wesco, they will also have a home game next Saturday. And there's even a scenario where Edmonds Woodway and Linwood both could finish in the top 3, and Mount Lake Terrace could have a home game. All 3 of them could. I would think at that point, Linwood, who play some of their home games at the stadium here, they play some of their home games over at their own facility. I would think that they would definitely have that game over at Linwood, unless you had a triple header that day. That's something we'll have to maybe find out and keep you posted on in one of our websites, whether it be myedmondsnews.com, linwoodtoday.com, or mltnews.com. But certainly something to keep an eye on as things start to play out here late in the season. Mount Lake Terrace looking for maybe another goal. Nate Cockbain down the right side. Not able to get it into the middle of the field as number 9, Simon Gabrimiak, on the defense, able to get that one out. Edmonds Woodway now looking for a push. Amon Tanau kicks it ahead. Hernero Ruiz able to scoop it up in the goal. 10:28 and counting right now on the clock. Mount Lake Terrace 2, Edmonds Woodway 0. Hawks not only looking for the victory, but looking for their 9th clean sheet of the year. Look at their goals against. They've given up a goal to West Seattle. They then had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shutouts in a row before Shorewood beat them 1-0. Also gave up a goal to Meadowdale in a 4-1 victory. 2 goals to Snohomish, 1 to Marysville-Pilchuck, 2 to Linwood. Doing some quick math. That's 8 goals over the entire season. And this is a team that is playing their 15th match of the year tonight, giving up just a little more than a half of a goal per match. Trying to preserve that right now. Edmonds Woodway would love to break that streak and then some. A little frustration there coming from Lorenzo Rahani. Looks as though he's barking at one of his teammates right now. Getting a lot of yelling going on. The referee finally having to walk over to Jacques Jamais, number 2 for the Warriors, and warn him about something. I'm not sure if he had been barking at the ref or maybe even one of the players. This is a part of the game when frustration starts to kick in for a team if they're struggling to get what they want out of the situation or the night in general. And certainly Edmonds Woodway, a team who came into the night certainly probably thinking they might even be the slight favorite as they were ahead of Terrace in the standings. And perhaps you're starting to see some of those frustrations now as the clock continues to wind closer to triple zeros, as it's now 8:38 and counting. Going to get another substitution for Edmonds Woodway as Chung Un, the midfielder who's a junior, checks back in. Andrew Shin, the sophomore, wearing the number 23 jersey, will take a breather for the Warriors. Hawks obviously not in any rush by any means with that 2-goal lead, taking their own time right now as Sam Polvoy awaiting the kick. And it looks as though one of the referees is heading over to the Edmonds Woodway bench to talk to one of the coaches over there. More than likely the head coach, Ochoa. Mount Lake Terrace would certainly love to get another goal to put it away, but even at that, if they don't, doing everything they can just to take as much time off of that clock as possible. And one great way to do it is to control the ball, and that's what they're looking to do on the Edmonds Woodway side of the field right now. The Warriors now coming away with it. 7:23 showing on the clock. Woodway looking for a run. And that's Rohana down the left side. Finally, the ball is kicked out of bounds by Colin Cockbain. And Logan Gendron will look to throw this one in. And we're going to get yet another substitution, as this time Mount Lake Terrace's Natu Abraham checks out, a.k.a. Steve Harvey. In case you missed that conversation a few minutes ago, is Angelo Camo telling us at the assembly earlier today. And that ball is knocked away from what could have potentially been a shot on goal. Looked as though that might have been Ryan Dunn, number 19, in the middle of the field. .6:23 showing on the clock. We have not seen a goal in over 50 minutes of play. So Mountain Lake Terrace scoring both of theirs in the first 25 minutes. And Sam Polvoy will clear that one up the field and out of bounds. Edmonds Woodway recognizing that they're running low on time. They retrieve the ball quickly as Logan Gendron throws it in. Cameron Cohn. I'm on to now with a little fancy footwork. Takes it from the center of the field over to the right. Edmonds Woodway will look to operate, trying to get something going here. Down the sideline. Towards the middle. Shot on goal. Just a little too far to the left. The freshman, Simon Gabrimiak, with a tough shot there. Hanero Ruiz still unscathed, still with the clean sheet as we're now nearing the 5-minute mark left to play here from Edmonds Stadium. Stick around after the game. We will have our Adrenaline Fundraising Player of the Game. Interview with one of our players tonight. Player from the winning team. Which right now appears to be Mountain Lake Terrace unless Edmonds Woodway can come up with something rather quickly. Clock now down under 4.5 minutes to go. So the big question now becomes, who will be the player of the game? Obviously, there's a few candidates tonight. Bobby Stoyanov winning the award when we, actually twice this year already, when we've had broadcast against both Everett as well as Marysville Getchell. Stoyanov with his 13th goal of the year tonight also set up the first goal, the Sam Polvoy penalty kick, by drawing the penalty 11 minutes into the game that led to that goal. Hanero Ruiz also playing outstanding tonight, getting that shutout. He's been put into action a few different times. This is not the easiest clean sheet he's ever had, as Edmonds Woodway has had a few different looks and a few nice shots on goal. Trying to get one last push here with 3:12 showing on the clock. That one goes out of bounds, and Mountain Lake Terrace will get the throw in. .253 left on the clock. Mountain Lake Terrace once again pushing it up the field. Hawks doing a nice job just to clear that one out as Aaron Cox kicks it out of bounds, and it's going to eat up another good 10 or 15 seconds of time. And we're going to get a whistle right now. Clock now showing 2:06. When it hits that 2-minute mark, the rest of the time is kept on the field. Edmonds Woodway with yet another chance, putting that ball towards the middle. Ruiz with a block. Nice job. To now look like he had an opportunity there to score for a minute, and Ruiz put himself right in front of it with yet another save for the senior goalkeeper. And we're now keeping the remainder of the time on the field tonight. Mountlake Terrace getting that much closer to picking up their 8th victory of the season in league play. They're going to run their record to 11-4 overall. One of the Terrace players right now cramping up. This will no doubt add a little bit of extra time onto the end of the game. You see number 16, Logan Gendron over there, complaining a little bit that Mountlake Terrace is stalling. However, the referees, they know better than that. They're going to put a little extra time on there as Bobby Stoynoff kicks that one forward. Juan Lopez trying for a breakaway. And Woodway very wisely getting that one back to the goal. Ball is knocked out of bounds. Should be down to about the final minute right now. Edmonds Woodway showing that they are not about to give up. They're going to play this one till the very end. Looking for a late opportunity there, kicking it out, and Genaro Ruiz will line this one up for yet another goal kick. Ruiz finally kicking it away. Mountlake Terrace getting that much closer as Edmonds Woodway looking to put one more drive together. Shot towards the goal. Deflected off of one of the defenders. Ruiz comes away with it. Kyle Ari rushing in there to force Ruiz to pick that one up a little quicker than he would have otherwise, as Ruiz just content to let that clock continue to tick. Boots it away down the field. Mountlake Terrace playing a little header game. Gavin Scott chasing after Simon Gabrimiak, the freshman who I think we're going to be talking about a lot over the next few years. He's very impressive. And Bobby Stoynoff apparently has just been subbed out for. Don't think it's going to matter. Or actually, they subbed back in for him. I guess he had taken a quick breather. We heard his name over the public address system and thought he was going out. Apparently, he was coming back in. Edmonds Woodway's kick goes out of bounds, and this might do it. We await that whistle right now. Still haven't heard it yet. Ball goes off of the track and into the corner of the stadium there along the southwest side of the stadium. Should be hearing a whistle any time now. Mountlake Terrace about to solidify their spot as the number 2 team in District 2 in that RPI ranking. Getting some arguing going on down there in the field right now. The referees are having to kind of step in as it looked as though a few of the players might have been kind of jawing at one another a little bit, and finally things seem to settle down. Kick goes out of bounds. Mountlake Terrace with a throw-in. This is kind of like watching a, what is the old saying, Angelo Camone? That you can't watch an egg boil. A watched pot never boils. There we go. That was so close. Feels like this game will never end. You keep waiting for that whistle. Edmonds Woodway down the left side. That's Cone. Finally cleared out by Nickel. And there's your triple whistle. There's your triple zeros. And there's your Mountlake Terrace victory. 2 first-half goals are all the Hawks need tonight. They defeat the Edmonds Woodway Warriors 2-0. Mountlake Terrace goes to 8-3 in league play, 11-4 overall. Edmonds Woodway falls to 7-3-1 in the league, 7-6-2 overall. We're going to take a quick break right now. When we come back, we will have our player of the game And we're wrap things up. Once again, the final score, Mount Lake Terrace 2, Edmonds Woodway 0. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network. And welcome back to the Sound Live Sports Network. Once again, the final score from Edmonds Stadium, the Mountlake Terrace Hawks defeat the Edmonds Woodway Warriors 2-0. And we are waiting for our player of the game right now as Coach Dramusis and his team having their usual post-game conference. Watching some of the Edmonds Woodway Warrior players walk over to the Mountlake Terrace side and shake hands. Always good to see the sportsmanship. Again, it is senior night here, and it is showing by the number of folks not only in attendance but that are sticking around after the game. Family members, friends, girlfriends. I think we've got more than 100 to 150 people still gathering around along the fence area, waiting as the victorious Hawks come off the track. Gregory Oakes, one of our students, getting the player of the game for us right now. As we mentioned before, Mountlake Terrace concluding their season Monday night at Oak Harbor. Edmonds Woodway with a big showdown coming up with Shorewood. That game will be right here at Edmonds Stadium, 7:30 p.m. Certainly encourage folks to come out and support the Warriors on their senior night. Warrior soccer team that we know has had their share of success over the years, making it all the way to the semifinals last year. Hawks will be looking to get back to state for the second consecutive year. Last season, breaking a 22-year streak of being left out of postseason state play. And we're still waiting right now as our player of the game appears to be coming up the ramp here right now. Actually, the Hawks players, if you can see this on camera, and it looks as though we are catching that right now. It is senior night, and we got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of the seniors posing in front of their pictures and their collages that were made for them leading into the night. They contain their names, their numbers, pictures of them in action. Always a special time. You only get to live out your high school athletics once in a lifetime. Never an easy thing when you realize they are coming to an end, and these guys, some of which have been in this program for 4 years, playing their final regular season home game at Edmonds Stadium, perhaps their final game at Edmonds Stadium, although it doesn't look like that's going to be the case the way the RPI is shaking out. We're under the impression they will more than likely have a home playoff game here next Saturday. But until we know that for sure, we will not etch that one in stone. I think our player of the game is on his way up right now as we see him making his way towards the stairs. Only fitting that on senior night, we're going to give the award to one of the senior players. And when you have a situation where a goalkeeper picks up his 9th clean sheet of the year, how can you not give it to him? We're going to take about a 60-second break. When we come back, we will get him on the air. 60 seconds. We'll be right back. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network. And welcome back to the Sound Live Sports Network. The final score once again from Edmonds Stadium. The Hawks 2, the Edmonds Woodway Warriors 0. The 9th clean sheet of the year for the goalkeeper tonight, Genaro Ruiz. Genaro, you've had cleaner or easier games in which you've had clean sheets. This one not all that easy. This is a good Warriors team. Tell me a little bit about the game tonight.
Well, I don't know. I like defense from Tuesday. We adjusted a few things on Wednesday and Thursday.
And I think our microphone's not working here, so we're going to try to – there we go. We're testing it as we go here. Hey, we're going to try this one more time. Take 2.
We're working now.
There we go. Now it's working. Okay, we'll start that all over again here now. Hey, again, 9th clean sheet of the year for you. You've had easier clean sheets. This is an Edmonds Woodway Warrior team that is very strong. Put some nice shots on goal tonight, but you seem to be there to stop every one of them.
Yeah, I mean, defense can't do all the work. Even though throughout the other 8 clean sheets, they've always had my back, and then today I had to get theirs. So just had to come up big.
Tell me what it means for you as a goalkeeper to have those 2 goals early like that, too. Obviously, Sam getting that goal 11 minutes in, and then Bobby puts one in with the 25-minute mark. A little bit less pressure on you as a goalkeeper.
There's a lot of less pressure on me, but the 2-0 lead is one of the dangerous leads in a soccer game.
And I know we talked to Bobby after the game a week and a half ago, and you could tell when we mentioned the Edmonds Woodway game coming up and the fact that it was senior night and the importance of it for all of you playing your last regular season game here. It was a big deal in that regard, but it's also a big deal because it's Edmonds Woodway and a team that was second place in the standings coming into the night. What does this win mean for you guys to beat the Warriors?
Well, this win actually puts us back into second place and puts us in a better position for the 2A playoffs and makes us have a better run in state.
And we're hoping that by holding that second place, you get the bye into the first round.
We get the first round bye, and then we get a home field advantage for the second game.
Now, what does it mean for you guys? Because last year you were a 3A team. You were playing Wesco teams and districts. This year you guys are heading into a situation where you really don't know much about the other teams. I know there's a Murphy team that's playing very well, and I think some of the guys maybe know one another. But for the most part, you're playing all new competition. Is that exciting for you, or would you rather know the teams you're playing a little bit?
I think it's exciting. Gives us new competition, new, excitement, I guess. Because we know all these teams around here. We know all the players, like Edmonds Woodway. I know a few of those players, so I know how they play. And playing in the 2A districts would just give us a different, game, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Give you a chance to get to state, too.
Yeah.
You got one more game left. Oak Harbor on a Monday night, 7:30 start. We were joking about it during the broadcast. You guys aren't going to be getting to bed any too early that night. Do you enjoy trips like that? Is it a chance to bond with the team? Or what?
It's a good bonding on the way back after a good victory, but we never know. We're not going to take them lightly. Go up there and give it our all.
And maybe the 10th clean sheet of the year for you.
10th clean sheet, hopefully.
And for you too, we should mention not really another goalkeeper on the staff or on the squad, so you don't get much time off. Even when you guys get 3-4-0 leads, you're still in there. Are you enjoying every moment of this?
Yeah, it keeps me busy, I guess, and I love the adrenaline when I'm out there, even if we're up 4, 5, 6-0.
And I should ask you too, senior night, so your last potential game at Edmonds Stadium. I know it looks like you might have a playoff game here next week, but what has it meant for you to play here over the years, and how emotional was it for you and some of the other seniors knowing that this is maybe the last time you guys suit up together at this particular stadium?
Very emotional, I guess, at the beginning when we had the senior night and all the parents were there. And this is my first time doing this, and it's going to be my last time, so it's first and last. I'm not sure.
Well, 11-4 is the record so far. And I should ask you one more thing, too. The play near the end of the game there, you came flying in, and it looked like Ari might have an open shot there for a moment. Tell me about that play, because from up here, you guys were on the far side of the field. You look like you got airborne there. You feeling all right after that one?
I was going to get the ball, but Ryan was in my way, and then I was like, oh, man, I didn't want to take Ryan out to get the ball. And I kind of got nervous, I guess, even though I shouldn't have. Should have taken out my player. But missed the ball, and I missed Ryan, so I ended up getting hurt.
I was going to say, you didn't get a little banged up there then.
The wind took it out of me, but luckily hit the crossbar.
Yeah, hit the crossbar. You seem to be okay now, and more importantly, you get the shutout and the victory. Yeah. So, Genaro, thanks again for the interview. And once again, you are and we'll hold that shirt up here real quick there, too. And we'll get you in the camera here. You are the Adrenaline Fundraising Player of the Game. More importantly, you're on the 11-4 squad, and you got 9 shutouts on the year. Congrats.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll let you get back down there and celebrate with your teammates. So, again, Genaro Ruiz, Player of the Game. We're going to let him go because this guy's earned it on senior night, and it looks like they got a lot of people down there, too. What did that mean, too, since you're still here, having this crowd here tonight?
Full crowd on Tuesday and full crowd today. It's just spectacular, honestly. We never had these many people throughout the 4 years I've been here, and it's just amazing to see how the program has grown.
Program's grown, and it's always nice when you start winning, folks come out, right?
Folks start coming out.
Very good. So, Hanero, thanks again. Appreciate it. And so, once again, the final score tonight, 2-0, the Mount Lake Terrace Hawks defeat the Edmonds Woodway Warriors, each team with one regular season game left on the season. And want to say one more huge thank you to everybody that worked on the broadcast tonight. We've mentioned their names throughout the night. Angelo Commode doing a great job getting the double duty in here. And, hey, we got the guys over here. Come on over. Let's get in the camera here for a moment. These are the guys that made it happen. I know we lost one of you, but, guys, appreciate everything you did. A double header today, so outstanding job. I think the Mount Lake Terrace Hawks community is proud of that, and the Edmonds School District for that matter, too, as you helping us to broadcast sports for all 4 of our schools. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for having us.
All right, so we're going to sign out. Again, you've been watching the Sound Alive Sports Network. Have a good night.
See you guys next time.
High school ball on Live Sports Network is presented by My Neighborhood News Network, South Snohomish County online gathering place. Visit My Edmonds News, MedmondsToday.com for news, sports, and events about your community, and see what your neighbors are talking about.